First step is drink coffee, because for some reason I like to film videos at 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so the first step is obviously to start with a clean face, makeup free, dirt free. I already washed my face, I did my whole skincare routine, I did my oil, toner, essence, sheet mask, everything. So my skin is the best and cleanest it can possibly be right now. The next step is to prime your skin. I can definitely say that I am one of the people who thought that primer was utter bullshit for like the longest time. I can definitely say that I am wrong. Primer is an essential part to my makeup routine now every single day. So for today I'm going to use the e.l.f. Oil Control Primer. If you've ever used the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, I think is what it's called, it's very, very similar to this one in texture. This is a great dupe for it, and I can definitely say that I prefer this primer over that 100%. Next, I'm going to go in with another e.l.f. product. This one is the e.l.f. Oil Control Primer Mist. For oily skin girls, these two duos are amazing together. I'm going to make sure it dries down completely. Actually strayed away from using foundation, and I pretty much just use concealer. I found that just the technique of it and a lot of the formulas in the concealers that I have I really like. My oily skin, the least amount of product that I put onto my skin, the better my makeup turns out in the long run. Now for my base, I'm going to use the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. Can you not? God, my cats are crazy. And I'm going to use the shade Light Nude. This, in my opinion, is an amazing dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape. If you're somebody who has tried this but you don't have the money to spend or you don't have the access to go get it, this is a really, really good dupe for it. It's actually like become one of my favorites. This shade in particular has a little bit of a pink undertone, which is really good for me because clearly I have a lot of pink in my skin. So now when I do my base, I try to concentrate most of the product on the outside of my face because that is where I have a lot of acne scars. Now when blending out product onto your skin, you always want to do a stippling motion. You never want to smear it and rub it around because it's just going to move the foundation and it's really not going to go where you want it to go. As you can see, I've pretty much concentrated the concealer right here on my cheek areas because that's where I'm going to need a lot of coverage, and I don't go right underneath my eyes. I don't like a lot of product here because I tend to get very oily there, and then the more product I have there, the oilier it gets and the worse and more cakey it looks as well. Now I'm just going to add a couple dots onto the forehead and do the same thing. That's fully blended out, I'm just going to take my brush and what's left over on my brush and I'm just going to blend that up into this area without putting any more product. Moving on to concealer for underneath the eyes, the ones that I'm going to use is again the CoverGirl concealer that I just used, as well as the e.l.f. Camo concealer in Fair Warm. Now I know the typical Instagram look is to put a lot of concealer underneath your eyes and blend it out with a sponge. That is not a technique that I do anymore. For my personal skin, I don't like a lot of concealer. I don't like a lot of product in general because it's really not needed. It's really excessive. I think it looks really, really good on camera and in photos and stuff, but in person and for my skin type, it just doesn't work out. So how I'm gonna do my concealer is I'm going to take it and I'm just gonna put a dot out here, a dot in the inner corner on each eye. Then I'm gonna take and do the same thing with the e.l.f. one. This is just a lighter concealer, but it's very high in coverage. Then I'm gonna take my finger and I'm gonna blend it out. Blending out concealer with your finger is probably, I think, one of the best ways to blend out concealer because you're using the warmth of your finger with the product and it really helps to melt the product into your skin. So I'm gonna blend out the corners first, kind of in just the general area that it is placed. without spreading it across and underneath my eye. Now that I have concealer blended out in each corner of my eye, I'm going to take what's left over on my finger and I'm going to blend these two areas together right underneath the eye and just connect them. I'm doing this because I do have fine lines underneath my eyes, and when you put too much product there, you're going to crease. There's no way around it. You're gonna crease when you put a lot of product underneath your eyes. And it's such a sensitive place on your face that you want to be really gentle with your eyes. Because I'm 24 and I don't want wrinkles. So the most gentle you can be, especially around your eyes, the better. So next it comes to powder and setting the face. Now to set my under eyes, I'm going to use the Park Ave Princess Palette by Tarte. As you can see, it's very much used. Going with this Halo shade right here, to lightly put that underneath my eye to set that concealer into place and prevent creasing as much as possible. Now I know one thing a lot of people do is they bake their skin, and I am a avid believer that baking is stupid. Obviously you can do your makeup your own way, but I personally feel like whenever I've done makeup on other people and tried baking or doing it on myself, it just doesn't look good. And it's a really unnecessary step. Now to set the rest of my face, I'm going to use a very light amount of the Everyday Vacay Coconut Setting Powder, dusting off a lot of it. And I'm just gonna lightly set my cheek and forehead area. Next, we're going to bronze. Bronze, not contour. There is a difference. I see a lot of people online who use like bronzer shades to contour their face, and it's a completely different step, process, shade, tone, everything. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to bronze my skin. I'm going to use the NARS Seaside Bronzer. Now this is my favorite bronzer because it's not very pigmented, and I like not pigmented bronzers. Now next we're gonna do my favorite part, and if you know me, you know it's my favorite part, is blush. I'm a blush whore. I love blush. I have an obnoxious amount of blush. It's my favorite part. And today we're gonna use the Show Me Your Cheeks blush by Elizabeth Mont. This is in soft pink. Now, how I do my blush and how I do my makeup does that mean it's how you have to do your makeup. I like a lot of blush. You may not like blush at all. So this technique and the way that I do it is not how you have to do it. But if you like it, then do it. So I'm gonna take the blush and I'm gonna first concentrate it right here in a stippling motion on the outside higher points of my cheekbone. I was doing somebody else's blush dependent on their face shape. This would be more of the look that I would go for with blush, but because it's me and I love blush, I'm gonna actually bring it right down onto my cheeks because I like a very blushed out looking face. So I'm going to bring it right down onto my cheeks. May also make me look cold and sick, but I'm also gonna bring it across my nose. This is a new technique. Well, I don't want to say it's a new technique, but it's a technique that has become more popular in e-girls, and they tend to do it. And I just fell in love with the look of it, so I pretty much put it all across my face. And my skin gets really pink and really blushy throughout the day anyways, so it doesn't even matter because it's gonna look like that later anyways. Now that I look ill and sick, I'm going to move on to another blush, and this one is also drugstore and it's by Milani. I'm gonna concentrate this one right on the outsides onto my cheekbone and temple area. This way it's gonna be like a pink blush, but it has a little bit of a sheen to it, so it puts a little bit of highlight into your skin as well. So now that is my full face, pretty much. So I'm going to move on to the eyes. Now I did my eyebrows off camera because I actually don't have my typical product with me or my typical shade, so they don't look that great. But if you're interested in how I do my eyebrows, just let me know down below and I'll do another video where I show you how I do my eyebrows. What I'm going to do is I'm going to prime my eyes, and I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Anti-Crease Primer. I'm going to concentrate that right onto the eye and tap it in with my finger. I'm going to use a very OG palette. Probably one of my favorite palettes. I've had it for so long. It's such a good neutral palette that even though it's super old, is one of my favorites. And that is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette. This has been around for so long, and I've had a couple of them. I want to say this is probably my third one that I've had. This is white chocolate, and I'm just going to take a big brush like this, and I'm just going to set my entire eye with white chocolate. Tap into hazelnut. I do my everyday eyeshadow look. I pretty much just use hazelnut and I just contour my eye. We're not doing anything crazy with eyeshadows, so I'll show you what I do. I'm just going to take this large brush with hazelnut on it, and I'm going to concentrate it mainly in right above my crease area. But with using this big brush, it's not going to make it very harsh. It's going to make it very just blended out. Next, I'm going to take an angled brush, and I'm going to go into semi-sweet right here. And I'm going to kind of use this as a eyeliner in a sense, but by using a soft brown shadow, it's going to make it very soft, which is what I'm going for. I'm going to concentrate this shade right into my lash line on the outer half. Slap on some mascara. I am not huge on mascara. I use false lashes pretty much all the time, so as long as my eyelashes are black on top, I don't really care. But I do like this one. This is the Big Ego by Tarte. I've been using this for a couple months now, and I really like it. I like my eyes to be very cat-like, so I concentrate my mascara on the outside of my eye and just lightly go over the inner to make sure that they're black. To put the top mascara on, I'm actually going to go in with a brown mascara and use that on my lower lashes. I don't like, unless I have like a big smoky eye or something on, I don't like harsh black underneath my eye. And I feel like using a brown mascara still makes your eyes pop, but it doesn't make it as harsh with the black. Now we're just gonna slap on some lashes, and I'll be right back. Now lashes just do something. Like, they just do something different, don't they? They just make a look pop. So next we're going to finish the face and add some much needed highlight. So for my highlight, I'm going to use the Steve Laurent Jelly Highlighter in Cotton Candy. I use my finger with this because it's just the easiest way to do it. Now, when putting on highlighter, you want to look at your face shape and you want to see where the light naturally hits your face. So for me, it's right here. Now I say this because a lot of people just say this is where you need to put your highlight. But that's not true. Everyone has a different face shape. Everyone has a different place that they should be putting their highlight. It should be exactly where your face naturally catches the light so it looks the most natural. So again, right here, a little bit right here. And then I always do right on the tip and right slightly down the bridge. But that is naturally where the light hits my face. And then I put it on the Cupid's bow. So we're moving on to the final step pretty much, and that is lips. So we're gonna use the Steve Laurent lip liner in Chic. Now, last and final step is we're gonna go back in with the e.l.f. Oil Control Primer Mist, and we're going to spray that on the face to set it. Whew. And that is my everyday simple makeup routine. Now, I know this is really simple and whatnot, but I kind of just wanted to show you an everyday look before I started showing you some crazy colorful stuff. This is the look that I would wear to work if I did my makeup to work, or if I was going to the movies or going to the mall or doing whatever it is. This is my go-to makeup look. If you guys liked the video, and if there is any other looks or things that you want to see, just comment down below and I'm more than happy to do them. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.